Hi, I kind of feel guilty. Over the years, I have released videos telling about the bad habits of green lasers. In my previous video, I even showed how a green laser can appear to not be working when it actually emits a lot of infrared laser light. That's still bad, but green lasers do have a big advantage over all other lasers. An advantage that makes them a great choice, and maybe even the safest lasers to use. Let me explain. Show lasers are meant to be seen, but make sure that no one ever will be able to look directly into the beam or specular reflections of it. And wear laser safety glasses when experimenting with any laser. Earlier, I have shown these small show lasers. Despite their size, they have a high optical power output of 1000 or 2000 milliwatts. And since they both are RGB with 3 lasers, they can show over 7 million different colors. Not bad. So I was a little confused when they sent me this experimental laser cube, codenamed the Venom Cube. This one only has one laser. It is not stronger and only has one color. One. Why would they even bother experimenting with this? Well, it is a green laser, giving it a big advantage since our eyes are not perfect at judging optical power. According to the specs, the 1 watt RGB emits 85 lumens, while the twice as strong 2 watts RGB emits 290 lumens, 3 times as much from twice the optical power. Seems weird, but it gets weirder. The 1 watt Venom Cube emits... I don't know. It is not for sale, so no official specs on it. I will have to measure it. Have a guess. How many lumens do you think it is? Thanks to the help from my patrons, I have saved up for a lux meter. Lux is not the same as lumens, but they are closely related. Lux is the intensity of the illumination, while lumens is the total amount of light available. I will test the 3 lasers for an indication of their brightness. They will all project the same picture. The Danish flag, Dannebrog. It has some white lines in it, making sure all 3 lasers are in use for maximum brightness. The lasers are too powerful to hit the sensor directly, so I will have to measure the reflected light instead, giving a much lower reading, but they should be somewhat comparable. Not the most scientific test, but here we go. First up is the 1 watt laser cube. The background illumination is around 270 lux. With the laser on, it increases to an average of around 1400 lux. That is 1130 lux from the projection, enough to overexpose the camera. Next one is the double as powerful 2 watt laser cube. Is it really 3 times as bright? Oh, it's bright alright. Around 4500 lux of just reflected light. So what about the half as powerful 1 watt green Venom Cube? It's over 9000 lux. That can't be right, can it? Is the Venom Cube way overpowered? Time to put the laser safety goggles on, since I will fire a steady beam at the laser power meter. The animated side alone is half a watt. Firing the steady beam in 3, 2, 1. $893 milliwatts and rising. Laser OS will only allow a 6-second steady beam, though the laser power meter needs more time. The test still indicates it is around the specified 1 watt of Radian power. The high lux reading is not because it is overpowered. Makes me wonder if you can calculate the lumens of a laser. Turns out you can. I'll get back to that later. First, we need to know more about how our eyes perceive brightness. This has been studied for a long time, and the studies show we can easily see electromagnetic radiation with wavelengths from around 400 to 700 nanometers, which we therefore call visible light. But we see light in the middle of the visible range the clearest. Here's a plot of how bright the different wavelengths of the same power appear to us. Let me add a rough estimate of the colors for each wavelength. Are you starting to see the advantage of green lasers? They are simply in the range our eyes are the most sensitive to. They look brighter than all other colors. The brightest wavelength is often quoted as 555 nanometers, which is easy to remember, though the latest studies indicate it may be a nanometer more. Anyway, it is a greenish-yellow color, close to the color of high-visibility clothing. Not a coincidence, of course. The laser diode in the Venom Cube emits light with a peak in a range from 515 to 532 nanometers, according to the diode manufacturer. My sample is around 522 nanometers, indicating good cooling since diode lasers tend to have shorter wavelengths at lower temperatures. Not surprising considering the laser cube was designed to cool twice as strong lasers. It is however surprising that I'm detecting some infrared here. At exactly double the wavelength, it appears to be half harmonic generation from the 522 nanometers laser light. But I can't find any sources on this being possible. There are known infrared bands from electroluminescence and intrinsic defects in the indium gallium nitride diodes, but they are broad bands in the infrared, not a peak at exactly double the wavelength. I tried detecting the infrared using a filter that blocks visible light and let infrared pass onto an infrared detector card. I just don't see any orange glow from infrared hitting the card. So please help me in the comments. What am I detecting here? Is it even coming from the laser? In any case, it is a low amount of infrared. It will not be a safety issue like the strong infrared leakage from an unfiltered 532 nanometers DPSS laser, which has a powerful infrared diode inside the laser. There is no infrared laser inside the Venom Cube. I digress. Sorry, back to the subject. Our eyes see the 522 nanometers light from the Venom Cube as 75% as bright as 555 nanometers of the same power. Way brighter than the red and blue lasers in the RGB laser cubes, which are only 24 and 5.7%. In other words, the green 1-watt laser in the Venom Cube appears as bright as a 3-watt red laser or a 13-watt blue laser. Crazy. That's the big advantage of green lasers. They outshine all other. This info can be used to calculate the lumens of lasers. More after this short message. Thanks to my awesome patrons for helping out with the laser power meter, spectrometer and lux meter. You can help me continue with more and better videos too. Link to my Patreon page in the description. Thank you. Converting Radian power, watts, to luminous power, lumens, is relatively easy for a monochromatic light source like a laser. All we need is the power and wavelength of the laser and the luminous efficiency of our eyes at that wavelength. Using this formula and CIE 2008 luminosity function as reference, I have calculated the lumens for the RGB laser cubes. They are a bit higher than Wicked Laser's official specs. Looks like they used the older CIE 1924 as reference. That's okay, it is still widely accepted and a conservative estimate. Now for the interesting part. How many lumens is the Venom Cube? Using the data on my particular unit, around 970 milliwatts and 522 nanometers, it is 498 lumens. Yep, green lasers are amazing. The Venom Cube is not only brighter than the other two, it is by far the brightest laser in my collection. Only when I convert to lux at the aperture, by estimating the beam size, the super bright Hercules is keeping up. 62 million lux at the aperture from the Venom Cube. Good thing I didn't point it directly at my lux meter, which maxes out at 400 kilolux. Please note that lumens and lux say nothing about how safe a laser is to use. My 980 nanometers infrared laser is 0 lumens and 0 lux, but a good risky burner at over 100 milliwatts. Still, I would argue that the brightness of green lasers actually makes them safer to use. You instinctively know they are powerful when seeing how bright they are and take precautions accordingly. An unknowing person is much more likely to be careful with a 50mW green laser than with a 500mW Blu-ray laser. The violet Blu-ray laser is 10 times as powerful and hazardous, but appears dim compared to the green laser. For a show laser, brightness is an advantage if you want to use it in an illuminated room or for big projections, or in worst case, big projections in an illuminated room. I tried filming the Venom Cube and 2W laser cube side by side for comparison, but my camera seems to be overexposed by them both. At least you can tell that the 1W green is not dimmer than the 2W white. Hope you liked this video enough to click like and subscribe for more like it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.